Steven Jackson has learned a thing or two. He's also entitled to an opinion or two, which is good because I have a number of questions for you, my friend. Something we've been talking about all week is this LeBron broken jumper. Just to throw something out, it wasn't broken last night. He shot 4 of 6, had 27 points from 4 of 6 from beyond the arc, 27 points. What do you see when you watch him play?
He's the same dominant LeBron.
Like we talked about this before. Last year in the NBA Finals, he was the one-man show, carried the team, did it all. Now he's playing with help. When you see him and you watch him, how do you see his game as evolving?
Well, you can tell he's still the king, but
So the Raptors coach, Dwayne Casey, has been rather vocal, a little bit feisty lately. If you haven't been following along, he's, of course, blaming the media for completely writing off his team, saying we've been left for dead, nobody respects us. How do players react when their coach is publicly putting that out there? That series between the Raptors and the Heat has to be Kyle Lowry. We're talking NBA All-Star during the regular season, shot mid-40s during the regular season. His shot now is basically MIA. The worst shooting performance in 50 years. This is an overwhelming favorite, talking about Canelo Alvarez at 5-1. What do you expect to actually see, though, in the ring?
Well, if it's the best version of Amir Khan and he shows that he can handle the weight, then his movement
is that Khan is essentially taking a $6 million payday to get his you-know-what kicked. If that is, in fact, the case, he goes out there, takes the fight, takes a few hits, takes the loss. What else does he get out of this other than just a pretty nice paycheck?
I would dispute.
For Max, you can see him later on this afternoon, 4 p.m. Eastern on Sports Nation. And then get out of here, go to Vegas.
That's right.
Busy weekend.
Yeah.
Busy weekend for us, too, because we have you full the entire game. What confuses me is Oklahoma City. Game 1 of the series, they get blown out by 32 points. Last night, they get the win, albeit just by 1. But who's the real Thunder here?
Well, I think it's mentally disciplined enough defensively, and offensively, it can be simplistic.
What biggest adjustment do you want to see them make before they take on Game 3, which, by the way, we have to wait 3 full days for that?
I'd like to hold Steven Adams down, ban that guy, the fan.
More on that coming up later, by the way. It's not a guy, it's a woman.
Ban her from every NBA arena for life.
We're going to get into that later. Explain yourself. I want to know what's going on there in, like, the literal sense. Anyway, okay, Amin, thank you.
Thanks.
Watch it. We now welcome an award-winning producer and director, Michael Ratner. Your ESPN 30 for 30 Gonzo at the Derby debuts today on ESPN.com. It will air Friday on SportsCenter during the 6 o'clock edition, 6 o'clock Eastern. If I wasn't around in the 70s, you weren't around in the 70s.
No, I wasn't.
Yet you chose this topic for your debut for 30 for 30. Why?
You know, what he does best, tell a story that's about people and characters, but grounded in the sporting world. That
character, by the way, being Hunter S. Thompson.
Hunter S. Thompson.
In the piece, you speak with John Walsh, Sean Penn, Warren Hinkle. Who was most fascinating to you?
And Ralph Steadman. Most fascinating, and he also showed us his account of what took place, which is quite different than the piece.
Okay, because I was going to ask about that, because there's this big debate about how much was Hunter actually telling was fact or how much was the story. Sure. But Ralph has gone on and said, I've forgotten a lot. How much do you think he actually has forgotten? 1-1.
Just Commander 1, and it did in 1970. That's not what he was there to cover. He was there to cover Nixon America and how that was really represented. He's influenced so many big A-list talent. I mean, you're going to think, why is Sean Penn in this? Because he knew he was very close with Hunter. Johnny Depp's close to him. Bill Murray's close to him. The list goes on and on. He influenced everybody.
It is a fascinating piece. It debuts today on ESPN.com. You can see the piece in full as well Friday on SportsCenter, 6 o'clock Eastern. Michael, thanks for joining us.
Thank you very much.
Very crucial role in those final 13 seconds. And did you see the look he gave the fan who grabbed his arm? Not that I blame him. I'm just not sure that is a guy that I would be messing with. Adams is an interesting dude with, thus far, a very interesting life. Here's Brian Windhorst. Own show. That's how opinionated these two are. From George and Izzy on the ESPN radio program, 9 p.m. Eastern, by the way. It is George and Izzy Easy Gutierrez here with me in LA, George Sedano back in the East. Because I don't have to use the magic of TV to see you get dibs on this first one. I want to go back to the whole D Wade LeBron thing. I like the fact that LeBron's being honest. Let's not come down on a player for actually being honest. I mean, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, the idea that you're looking.
Ryan Hollins, I want to start with you. Yeah, I said I feel really short right now. You played 32 games this season, part of your 9-year career, with the injury-riddled Grizzlies. What would you do if you were the Warriors? Would you bring Steph back, or would you let him sit?
I'll let him come back.
Do you bring him back immediately, put him in the starting lineup? Do you work him in slowly? What would be your plan?
Well, if I bring him back, if I'm in charge of the Warriors here and I'm deciding to bring him back, I'm only bringing him back if the.
LeBron, Kevin Love, they have scored a whopping 339 points thus far. But tell me why this is more about Kevin Love and Kyrie Irving and less about LeBron.
Well, the big thing that they do.
But that's the difference, because you look at the way LeBron is playing now compared to, say, the NBA Finals last season. He was a one-man show, but there was no Kevin Love.
Right.
There was no Kyrie. Both of them were out with injuries. He was fun to watch, but he had to play a different game, and some said then that was seeing LeBron at his best. Compare LeBron in the Finals last season to what we're seeing from him now.
Sense, even though you won't see the same numbers from LeBron, this is the better version of LeBron. That version of LeBron, frankly, like I said, you could have gotten at any given time had his whole other team just sort of, the rest of his team gone down with injury.
David, by the way, we'll have more on that alleged broken jumper coming up a little bit later. Real quick, before we go, LeBron said earlier he wants to see Dwayne Wade in the Eastern Conference Finals. Give me just one team. Which will make the better series, the Raptors or the Heat?
Clearly the Heat.